Welcome to Sign with JP. I'm JP, and today we are learning ASL signs for animals that we have as pets, common pets. First, I just want to start out with the two signs, one for pets and then one for animals. Unfortunately, pets as the noun is spelled. It doesn't have a sign. Pet and pets is going to be finger spelled. However, the action to pet something, we're just going to make a fist and we're going to pet something. That's the verb. I am petting. So we don't say I have pets. You're saying that doesn't make any sense in ASL. So I have pets. The other sign for animals, take your hands, fingers together and bend them at the knuckle. And we put them on our chest and we move them back and forth. This is animals, which is very similar to have. Have is one motion, touching the chest. Animals is on the chest, moving side to side, in and out. Let's start with the basics. Dog and cat. Dog is a fake snap. Okay? Don't do the snap. It's annoying. Just do a fake snap. The old sign used to be a slap on the hip and a snap. And everyone used to do it just like that. We don't do that anymore. The sign has evolved. And instead of doing this and this, all we're doing is a fake snap. It used to be like, come here, boy. Come on. Right? That's where it came from. Or it also came from the spelling D-O-G, 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 and then it just got in here. I don't know the true origin. Either way, the current sign is just a fake snap. For cat, cat has the whiskers. And so we're going to pull the whiskers. Now, here's the key thing. Make sure your fingers are up. I have F hand shapes. All my fingers are wiggly. 3 fingers on each hand, right? And I'm just pulling those whiskers. In other words, I don't want you doing this because this looks like mustache. Whiskers, kitty cat. Next is a bird. A bird has a little beak. This is a pretty generic sign, bird. Just like the word bird covers so many different types of birds. It also means chicken, although if you're just doing this, hold and cut, it refers to chicken that you eat generally. Chicken that's alive, that's one of your pets, we put the other hand there and we go from the beak to pecking. Right, so that oftentimes refers to the live chicken versus if you say I'm eating chicken, we use just that. And yes, does it mean bird? Yes, but the most common bird that we eat is going to be the chicken. So when we say we're eating bird, we're eating chicken. What about a bigger bird like a parrot? A parrot has a bigger beak, so we're going to use this hand shape with crossed fingers to make it a bigger beak. So we're talking about a parrot. All other different types of birds and parrots, whatever, they need to be finger spelled. This is it's a limited amount what we have actual signs for. So we got bird, chicken, parrot. Rabbit or bunny, there are 2 signs for this, and so you can pick whichever one you like. The one that I see most often is going to be 2 fingers up by the head going back for the ears. Bunny or rabbit. Okay, or we put them right here and we just wiggle them right here. Maybe the ears and the tail. So bunny, bunny, or rabbit. Every year when I teach turtle, everyone loves this sign. It's so cute, and it kind of is. Here's the proper way to do it. Make an A hand, just like this. Copy me with the thumb on the top. Cup your other hand and put it right on top. So this is the turtle, and then this is its shell. Okay, you see me? Right here is the thumb, that's the head. And then I keep my other thumb next to it and I wiggle that. And so now I have the tail on the back. If you extend your thumbs, it looks weird, right? It looks weird. So you tuck your thumbs in where the head sticks out just a little bit and the tail wiggles just a little bit. And now you have turtle. The mouse, the rat, and the hamster, which just my own little plug from my experience with all 3 of these, the rat, best pet by far. All right, all that business aside, they all come from the sign for mouse, which is 1 finger, and we just flick the nose. Mouse. The other 2 are initialized. So we sign mouse, but with an R, and now we have rat. And with an H, and we kind of turn it a little bit and swipe the nose for hamster. The lizard. And I know there are so many different types of lizard. Again, in ASL, we're gonna finger spell to kind of differentiate which one we're talking about. But a lizard in general, hold your non-dominant hand, that's the ground, and then here's your lizard, put it on there, and it kind of zigzags its way across. The snake. The snake, now, not all of them, but work with me. The snake has fangs, and then it slithers side to side. Snake. Now, me, I kind of always hiss when I do it, because that's just me and my hearing brain, but snake. The frog. We're going to take our fist, put it under our chin, and we're going to shoot out 2 fingers. This is a strange one. Very first sign I learned was like because the frogs ribbit and they fill in their like chin sacs, I guess, with air. But then we have this one, kind of like they're sticking their tongue out to catch a fly. Although it's not really so much a frog that does that, they just kind of bite it. I don't know. I'm just trying to give you a clue, a hint, something to remind you. Frog. Raise your hand if you had a spider growing up. And not just ones that lived in my house, but like actual cage with a spider. I know, a tarantula. I was a weird boy when I was a teenager. The way you sign it, you're going to get it right away. That's right. Spider. Ew. Hedgehog. Hedgehog, this is a fairly new sign. So I would normally fingerspell hedgehog for clarity. But if you make a fist, and then hedgehog has a little kind of like spikes. I think they're soft, but we're going to bring them down like this, okay? Contrasted with porcupine, the spikes come up. Hedgehog, the spikes come down. Ferret. A ferret, this is a fairly new sign as well, so I would always fingerspell for clarity, but we have the ferret, the little head moving across. Ferret. Guinea pig is usually spelled, and then the sign for pig, which is a fist under the chin and the fingers extended. I've also seen GP for guinea pig or G pig. These are variations. Oftentimes what happens is when you're talking with someone and you have a familiarity with them, or we are familiar with the topic, we can then shorten it down. So maybe the first time we have to spell it and sign it, and then after that we just do GP, or I can just refer to it as a G pig, and we know what we're talking about in context. But if I bring in someone else to the conversation, I need to spell it again so that they get it. That is how ASL works. The chinchilla. Again, no sign, so we're gonna spell it. But the sign for squirrel is 2 fingers like this, tapping each other. And I would use this as a replacement sign. And this is used often. When we have a similar animal, we can kind of borrow that sign if we clarify what we're signing. Oh, it's the chinchilla, and I use this sign for our conversation. This, for the time being, will be chinchilla, not squirrel, which is what the sign is. But those animals are very similar, especially like their appearance, so I would borrow that sign. Okay, cool. Let's be done with that. Woo, that was a lot of animals. I love animals. I think animals bless us so much. They add to our lives, not take away from them. I myself have 1 cat, 4 dogs, 16 chickens, and 2 horses. And growing up, I worked at a fish and reptile store. So I've owned snakes, rats, frogs, varieties of fish, you name it, guinea pig. I have had most of the animals that we've said today, including It's been a fun time. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you like and subscribe and leave me a comment. What kind of animals do you like, or do you want to have, or that you will never have? I want to know. And I will see you on the next video. I'm JP. Keep on signing.